Welcome to the Crazy Cool Family Podcast with Don and Suzanne Manning. Parents, what if we could give you the power to transform your family into something absolutely amazing?
A family where everyone is healthy, gets along, loves Jesus, and has great purpose in life.
Hey, let us flip your thinking to unlock the power God has given you to create your own Crazy Cool family. Hey, Crazy Cool parents, welcome to the podcast. So excited today we get to tell you about our brainchild, God's brainchild, our God-inspired brainchild, Basecamp.
No, we're not having another child. Don't be confused.
Yes, that would be miraculous.
This is an idea child, and we are so excited to share it with you because we just believe that it's going to give you an opportunity to take your family, your crazy cool family, to the next level. It's a way that we're going to spoon feed you along the way with all the crazy cool concepts and ideas, and I just know your family is going to be so blessed by it.
Yeah, and also, when we looked at how we could help parents best, Suzanne and I have this passion for wanting to make your family crazy cool. God has blessed us so much in our family that we just want to give that gift to everybody that we can. And what's so cool is it's a game everybody can win.
Right.
And so, but as we wrote our book and we started to talk to people about it, we realized that, man, what we're teaching people is a little bit deep at times. It's a little bit, and it's not learned by a weekend seminar. It's not learned by even reading a book or maybe even a few books, as a matter of fact.
Well, it kind of goes in and rearranges or helps you rethink the way you were raised in a family and maybe even the way you're doing your family right now.
And really maybe even the way you're doing you.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that when it comes to things that are outside what we know, those are just hard. That's just hard. And so we've kind of figured out a way to make it not be hard.
Well, and there's so many that concepts you can learn. I mean, just even discipleship, at the top of our pyramid is pursue God. Pursue God, build relationships, create culture. And within the relationships, we find not only is there a you to God relationship, but there's the marriage. Mm-hmm. There's pursuing your kid. There's the kid to God relationship. How do you lead your kid to Jesus? The siblings as best friends, the kid to kid. Within culture, we've got things like encouragement and safety, how to be a good listener.
Discipline and unity. Those are all such lofty concepts that are so easily broken down to where they can be very practical.
Yeah, it's just, I tell people with parenting, it's like, okay, you're not going to learn to play basketball overnight. You got to learn to dribble, you got to learn to shoot, you got to learn to pass, and you got to learn certain moves and steps, how to play defense. It's all the same thing, but we're
going to teach you how to dribble your kids and pass them.
Yeah, so within Basecamp, we said, hey, how can we do this effectively? How can we drip content? We talk a lot at Crazy Cool Family about dripping content into parents so that we get it over time where we can learn it at our pace and learn it at a pace that we can. It's kind of like Suzanne and I did. We didn't learn all the things that we put in our book overnight. We learned it over years of parenting.
And from different children, in their different ages as they went through that.
Yeah, and different authors that we learned from and seminars and things we went to. And so
we've been dripping through emails and these podcasts and social media. Those are all ways that we've been dripping, but we've just had this passion in our heart to create a platform through technology where we could drip you content in an organized
way that also it fits with your lifestyle. Because, we don't have time anymore, or people, don't go to 2 and 3 day seminars and they don't do things. And also just the way we process information right now, a lot of it's short videos, a lot of
just
it's
little snippets.
Something we're in the car and we're listening to on the way in or whatever. And so the first part of Basecamp, not the first part, but a part of Basecamp, we'll talk to you about 4 different parts of Basecamp. But the first one we're going to talk about is what we call our guided monthly learning experience.
We're so excited because what we're going to do is we're going to take each month and we're going to have a theme for that month or a concept for that month. And we're going to share that theme to you
Throughout the month.
Yep, throughout the month. And so each week we will have a connection point with you that will come to your
Phone.
to your phone through a link for a little teaching that will be a video. And then we'll have some inspirations, which I'm super excited about because as parents, we all need to be encouraged along the way. And then we'll have some challenges for you to kind of get in there and get your hands dirty with the concept on how to, let's say the concept's encouragement that week. And so we'll give you some challenges on how are you going to encourage your kids this week or encourage your spouse this week.
Yeah, and I don't know about you parents, but Suzanne and I will tell you that as a parent, you learn things. God reveals things to you. And maybe for example, let's say this concept, I need to be a more encouraging parent and less of a critical parent. And so then you got to go practice. But you learn the concept and it kind of sticks in your brain for a little bit and you make a lot of mistakes when you're learning, but every month we want to have, and you can't just learn it in one lesson usually. It's usually not this just epiphany. You learn it as you hear it a few times, and that's what we're going to do each month. We'll be able to hit you different ways with the concept so that by the end of the month you go, yeah, I have some practical things and I can change. And then the next month we'll move to something else, maybe a certain type of relationship. How to lead your kid to Jesus, for example. And we will go through each month and say, or during the month and say, hey, here's some different things that we're going to show you about what that looks like. And now you may be someone like me at that point and goes, I don't want you to tell me how to learn. I can read, I can do that, I can make it all. And so you might say, that doesn't appeal to me because I don't like things, somebody to tell me what to do all the time. I want to learn at my own pace. I want to go read my own books or whatever. Guess what? You can do that too. You have what we call total content access anytime.
To our library. So what we have on the platform is a searchable library that's got all of our content that we have created, and then it's also got a place of that's got external content from
outside
resources. Thank you. External outside resources
external
of places that have impacted our parenting, and then we've even talked to families about what has impacted their parenting right now, and we've got that on that. Place too.
Yeah, and it's going to be an ever-growing library. Mm-hmm. We will have ever-growing. One of the things that Suzanne is the master at answering questions and being able to help people through things. I like to take content and turn it into more of a teaching type orientation. And so, and we're going to review. We've talked about before that there's so much information out there for parents. Well, what if we can, Crazy Cool Family, filter that information for you, those outside resources? So everything's going to be consistent with our themes of relationships and culture. It's going to be, there's, what's cool is, for example, I have a book in there in our outside resources. It's called The Whole Brain Child. And it basically shows how science supports, and this author, I don't know if he's a Christian or not, but it's not written from a Christian perspective, but he shows that, I think his name is Siegel, is the author's name, that through the science of the brain, how we are hardwired in our brain, physically wired for relationship. And it just gives you encouragement. Well, it also gives you some very good strategies for how to deal with your child and how to parent your child. But it also gives you some encouragement that, hey, the relationship approach is something really to go and to pursue in your family.
It's valuable for the brain.
Yeah, and so exactly. And so it's so total. But you can either learn with everyone at a certain pace, or you have total access, and we want to build our library. And some of it will be from like she's saying, from recommendations from others, and we will take those and look at those and go, hey, this is a great podcast. Let's put it in there. Or this is a great article here. Let's put it in there so that when you search, and so when you go into the library, you can type in a search, and it will bring up all the content that's related. Okay, my kid won't clean their room. And you type that in, and here comes a lot of content that would be around that subject, because we want to teach you the concepts of Crazy Cool Family. We want to hit you every different way we can with stuff that we're sending to you and stuff that you can go find on the site itself to build the concept teaching in your parenting.
And so those two areas are about the content and about the teaching. And then the next two areas, we have been trying to figure out how to do this through Crazy Cool Family. We've got relationships with some families, but we want to have access to all the families, and we want the families to have access to us. And so the next element of Base Camp is interacting with us. And so if you have a specific question, let's say you've searched the library and the answer was not there, then if you will submit your question to us on the spot in Basecamp, you'll see a specific place that says, put your question here, and you can text it to us, audio file or video, send a video of yourself asking the question.
We're going to love getting video questions because we get to see you. You know, so many times somebody writes in a question and they're like, we don't really get to see it, but when we...
Well, and it's because we don't understand the tone behind it. We don't understand like the desperation that you can see in a video, or the frustration or the anger. And so that's why I think a video is so valuable. And so what we've decided to do is when we give you a return answer, where it's going to be a video answer in return. And so your specific question will be answered to you and sent to you privately. But then what we're going to do is we're going to take the answer to your question, not the question itself, not what you've sent in, but the answer to the question. And we're going to put that in our library that we just talked about, so that if there's another parent out there that has their child won't eat peas and they're super concerned about it, and you sent that question in and we answered it on video, then now that video will be in the library for any parent to now search, how do I get my kid to eat peas?
Without your personal information in it.
Yes, but they won't know that you're the one that asked the first question, but you were the inspiration behind us answering the question. And so we're so excited to invite those questions in. We want to know what's going on out there in the land of small people, and we want to know what your struggles are, and we want to give you our experiences and the things that we did when our kids were younger. We want to share those with you. And so we're so excited about this place of interacting.
Well, and we'll also be able to go into our Facebook group that we'll have. So we'll be able to jump into the Facebook group and talk to people either.
Yeah, because we're going to build community. So
Right.
That's our other element. Yeah, exactly. We're going to build community, and we're super excited about being able to answer the questions in that community.
Yep, because not only do you want to interact with us,
Right.
but you also want to interact with other families, other like-minded families, other people that have 3-year-olds, other people that have 8-year-olds and things like that. And so we interact with you as well as you interact with others through the Facebook community. And so we will, so think about this, parents. Let's say you have a question. And the question is, my kid won't clean my room or whatever.
I wish the kid would clean my room.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the kid won't clean their room. How about that? So you might first go to the library and you might say, hey, what are some questions have there? Oh, here's Don and Suzanne talking about room cleaning or whatever. Here's a podcast about it or that mentions it or whatever, but I still don't quite have the answer. So I may
What are other people doing? Maybe you'll get our answer and you'll be like, okay, what's somebody else doing out there? Because we're not the only ones with great ideas.
Right. And so then you might go to the community.
Exactly.
And you might say, hey, what are y'all doing about room cleaning for 7-year-olds?
Yes.
And everybody starts to comment. We may comment into it, because we see the question and go, hey, here's a reference. And we may even show you this reference or whatever, or somebody on the team might do that. But if you still don't get your answer, guess what? Now you go to the question section of our of Basecamp, and you go and you type it into us, and you create a little video, and you say, hey, I've got a 7-year-old boy, and this is what's happening. Every time I ask him to clean the room, he throws a big fit. And so now we can specifically come back and answer your question as well. Or, we may just put things out there. We may throw things out there and go, hey, these parents are asking these questions. What do you guys think? And we put it in the Facebook community. Something else that we will do is we are going to do Q&A sessions where we can have a live time, that where people can come in and just talk about, whatever it is, the questions are happening. And then, of course, we'll answer those. And guess what? Those questions get answered. They go into the library. So I hope you guys can see how this interactive tool, the interaction, also feeds the library, which also makes the answers available. So, as we build community, what we're doing helps everyone parent. And you know, whether that be questions you're answering or resources you're giving or whatever, then we will build community and help everybody do that better.
From our years of parenting, we've come to the conclusion that parenting is hard. It's not impossible, but it's hard. And so what we want to do at Crazy Cool Family is we want to give you some content, information, teachings. We want to give you a place where you can interact with us and with others to be inspired so that you will be encouraged on this journey of parenting. Because while sometimes it can be really difficult, it's also the most rewarding thing that you'll get to do. One of the things that you get to do on earth, to mold and train people and to work on relationships and to love and to be loved. And so we're really excited to get to come along beside you on your journey of relationships and just give you what you need in the middle of them.
Yeah, because here's what happens. Yes, parenting is hard. And yes, we have a lot to learn, but here's what happens. As you connect with your kids, as you follow Jesus, and as your kids start to follow Jesus, guess what? You know, Jesus said in the scripture, he says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Never understood that scripture, especially as it related to family, until my kids started loving the Lord. And then all of a sudden, when the relationships start flowing, then Crazy Cool Family, it becomes so much easier. Family becomes so much easier to do when things flow. And that's what we're striving for with Base Camp. That's what we're striving for with Crazy Cool Family. So go to, remember, Suzanne and I have already joined. So go to.
Come join with us.
That's right. Go to crazycoolfamily.com/basecamp.
Sign up.
And sign up. It will be the best thing you do for your family. We are so excited for the people who have already joined us and are already in the Base Camp family. And we would love to have you join us and start on your journey to work with Base Camp to create your own Crazy Cool Family. And if you have any questions, you can email us to info@crazycoolfamily.com. We'd love to answer your questions, anything you have about Base Camp. Anything else, Suzanne?
I don't think so.
Well, we love you guys and love every parent out there. We know you guys are working so hard to create awesome families, and we want to help you in that journey. So go be crazy parents, crazycoolfamily.com.